Welcome to This Week in West Hempstead, sponsored this week by Stern & Spiegel LLP, 5168-731-683. Let us solve your problems. And by Tiffany Dry Cleaners, environmentally safe pickup and delivery in West Hempstead and surrounding areas, 718-309-5222. Here are your hosts, David and Norm. Take it away, gentlemen.
All right, thank you, Dan, and welcome back, Norm.
Hey, Dave.
It's another great Friday morning. So this week was there was a big meeting that took place at the Young Israel of West Hempstead. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, the police department made a major showing. It was supposed to be a discussion headed by the commissioner of police. For some inexplicable reason, he didn't show up. They waited for him all night, but they had an amazing presentation. The chief of police was there, the chief of detectives, the head of the anti-crime bias group was there. They had a detective who's a commander of intelligence, and the local police commander, a new commander for the precinct.
The poor guy's been in the job 2 days or something.
Yeah, but it was an amazing discussion about the efforts that they're making. They came out with a new program, distributing flyers in which you can report anti-bias crimes. They are taking it very, very seriously. Anti-Semitic crimes are only 50% of the anti-bias crimes that they deal with. So there's a lot going on at the police department, and they take it as a major effort on all departments, from the patrol people all the way down through intelligence, and they tap into New York City intelligence, international, Israel and Europe. So these guys are all over it, and it was really impressive.
Wow.
And I'll say I was there as well. I think he said, I think the deputy chief of detectives, he said there was something like 25, 28 incidents year to date, so over a period of 6 months. But as Norm said, about half of those were aimed at Jews. They were anti-black. There was an anti-Jehovah's Witness incident. I mean, there were all kinds of things. But it's not as bad as it might be. But the detective who's on the Intel committee was like, the thing right now they're particularly monitoring is the neo-Nazi groups, and they've unfortunately been increasing.
Right. Yeah. What they have asked specifically of us is, do not spread on media anything about these groups, these hate groups that come out on social media. Do not pick up their names and repost it, because all you're doing is giving them publicity, and that's how they get people lined up to do crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So don't promote their names. If you want to talk about there was hate crimes discussed, do it generically. Don't talk about it as a specific group.
Actually, the small part that resonated for me, and of course I'm always listening to something else, is when I think one of the detectives mentioned that these were not your typical Nazis from the Blues Brothers.
They're smarter.
I'm like, and we always think comically of that. Some of us remember those scenes, and it's
I hate Illinois Nazis.
Something along those lines, without the bleeping, and. But these are serious, serious times, serious situations, and it was really great to see that there was a very large turnout that came to
It was
the event.
packed. The room was packed. People from all over West Hempstead. They're asking you to please report even minor incidents. If there is anything painted on your property that's anti-anything, do not erase it immediately. Let the detectives take a picture of it so that they can properly investigate.
Really great point. So in the world of redistricting, let me just make sure I got this straight. John Giuffre is out.
He's not representing West Hempstead anymore.
Bill Gaylor from Lynbrook is in?
He's in.
And
I met with both of them. They're really just two really great guys. John Giuffre says, I got him a traffic light. Now I have something to show and brag about, and they take the district away from me. Yeah. So I said, John, we'll put up a John Giuffre crossing when they get the light up.
Yeah, I mean, John really worked so, tirelessly
hard
and put in a lot of efforts, and has really tried to make a difference in our community, and it's sorry to see him go.
Yeah, I will say, by the way, I mean, first of all, go look at our interview with him. It was very helpful, so you can get a chance, and I think we're going to try and reach out to the new gentleman. I did a little bit of looking. Apparently, this whole idea of redistricting came up in February, so the idea of the redistricting is not new, but apparently it's just gone into effect.
Right.
All right, well, there you go. And I think now we're going to just have a word from our sponsor.
Tiffany Dry Cleaner is ready to handle all your cleaning, laundering, and dry cleaning needs. We offer free pickup and delivery Sunday to Friday in all communities. Give us a shot.
All right, and welcome back. There's some news on the Long Island Railroad for this fall. There's a minor change on the West Hempstead branch. So during the morning peak, the 6:26 a.m. train from West Hempstead will be going to Grand Central instead of Atlantic Terminal. So that would certainly benefit.
It's not a minor change according to people that I've been hearing from.
Okay.
I mean, again, when the whole thing changed, you remember everybody was getting all upset about Atlantic Terminal. There really aren't very many trains going to Atlantic Terminal, and for people trying to get down there, it's continuing to become a problem. I guess they would rather send more trains to Grand Central,
right?
But it's going to impact a number of people.
Can't you switch to Atlantic Terminal from Jamaica fairly easily, or?
I thought you could.
I suspect you can. The biggest issue with that usually is that if you end up switching at Jamaica, the chances of getting a seat are near zero.
Yeah.
So, and I understand it's not a comfortable trip to be taking if you're jammed in like sardines, but
yeah, and let alone the fact that you're paying, 20. Some insane, dollar amount for to
and let's point out it's September 5th. These go into effect according to what we have here. So,
right. All right. Well, hey, I heard that the weather is supposed to be great, over the weekend and pretty much over the next 5 days.
Time to go to the pool.
Pool?
Which pool? What pool?
Interestingly, I spoke to our councilman, Muscarella.
Yeah.
He tells me the story goes like this. They had planned for 2 years to upgrade the pool. They started to upgrade the pool and a part failed that had nothing to do with the upgrade. It's from old equipment. They tried to order it. It's back ordered. It's been constantly a problem trying to get this part, and we have no order, and they can't believe how hot it's been. So it's been like a double whammy, an embarrassment for everybody. But this is the world we're living in now, and so he says they're doing their best. He's supposed to get back to us and let us know the story on the indoor pool.
Right. So we reported last week that the outdoor pool was going to open probably sometime early August, and there was a little bit of activity. We had seen some workers who were working on the kiddie pool, getting that set up. But then the activity stopped, and they haven't even cleaned out the outdoor large pool and certainly haven't started to fill it. Now we're getting to the end of July, so I'm even wondering, we certainly have to, I think, change our headlines, because I'm not sure that we know what. You
cannot get straight answers. I spoke to the commissioner's office several times. They got back to me. They told me the part was coming in Monday, but they don't really know.
I think it might be time for us to accept the real possibility there will not be any Echo Park pool available this entire summer, which would really suck. But again, this is why we keep asking the questions.
You know what, Dan? That's very depressing, but I think you may be right. It's I don't want to, and we're certainly not getting to that conclusion. But unless they really start doing something and starting with filling it up, it's just not going to happen. And I think even when they fill it up, it takes like forever to fill, and they got to balance the water and all. Whatever.
Staying on water.
Yeah, staying on water. So we got some amazing pictures of the old water tower decommissioning, and those pictures are special thanks to the West Hempstead and Hempstead Garden Water Department, and very specifically Bob York and Fred Kurz. Bob did the drone flying. So some of these images that you're seeing right now are really, really amazing. And quite honestly, I miss that water tower. Every time I go down to Southern State,
I do not miss it.
And you kind of, your vista is changed.
I like the new tower. It's a nice looking tower.
Yeah, we like the old tower. And finally, so Norm, Powerball I think went to a winner in California. Certainly not here. So you're planning on funding the school budget on Powerball is no longer around. But I have a different idea for you. How about taking all of the money money that goes to New York State that's like lost funds, which apparently, according to Newsday, is about half a billion dollars, and use that to fund, some of the gaps in the school. Like, what happens to that money that goes back?
I guess legislators will get a bonus.
Yeah, you might want to check it out yourself, because every now and then they'll, you can take a look and say, hey, my name's on the list.
Exactly. You can go to a state website and you put in names of relatives, whatever, and see what comes up, and who knows, maybe there's
it's not $1 billion, but Mega Million is about 700 million. I could work with that.
All right,
come on, penny interchange there.
So we got a bunch of things coming up in entertainment. Norm, what's
Barbie's playing in Malvern, Oppenheimer, and Mission Impossible. Those are always great ones. And there's Darlene Graham singing on the beach show at Echo Park on July 27th.
Yeah, I think, and there was there was some event at Echo Park earlier.
Yeah, we missed that, a concert, right?
And there was pretty large crowd, so it looks like people are really enjoying the free Town of Hempstead concerts. And
if you have video of it, by the way, by all means, please pass it on to us.
Yeah, let us know.
With credit for you.
We'd love to publish it. So I think, Dan, that's going to do it for this week in West Hempstead. Enjoy your weeks. Find a way to stay cool outside of the pool, and enjoy
the summer. Stay safe.
Thanks for watching, everybody. If you'd like to sponsor this program, much like Stern & Spiegel and Tiffany Dry Cleaners, please reach out to us at sales@westhempsteadecho.com.